2 million years ago, long before humanity shaped the world with cities and metal, the early members of the Homo habilis species walked the sunburned plains of East Africa, moving carefully between scattered acacia trees while listening to every shift in the wind, because survival depended not on strength, but on awareness. The land around them was harsh and unpredictable, filled with enormous predators, such as saber-toothed cats and giant hyenas, and even the smallest mistake could turn an ordinary morning into a fatal hunt, where they were no longer the hunters, but the prey. Despite their small bodies and limited speed, Homo habilis carried something far more powerful than muscle: the ability to understand patterns in nature and slowly transform simple stones into tools that gave them a chance to fight, gather food, and defend their young. In the early light of dawn, a small group gathered near a riverbank where smooth quartz stones lay half-buried in the mud, and one of the males began striking a fist-sized rock, with another sending sharp fragments flying slowly, shaping the first primitive blade that would become their lifeline. The sound of stone hitting stone echoed across the valley as sparks danced in the cool air, and the others watched closely, learning with silent admiration, because knowledge was not spoken, but carried through careful observation, repeated gestures, and shared instinct. When the tool was ready, the group moved toward a distant carcass left by a predator, hoping to reach it before vultures stripped it clean, because scavenging was often safer than hunting and required only courage, timing, and teamwork. As they approached the remains, the smell of decay mixed with dust made them hesitate, but hunger pushed them forward, as they used the newly crafted blades to cut through tough hide that bare hands could never tear, taking whatever meat they could carry. Every moment at the carcass was dangerous, and their eyes constantly scanned the tall grass, fully aware that lions or hyenas could return at any moment to reclaim what they considered rightfully theirs. When a distant roar suddenly rolled over the plain, the group instinctively gathered together, gripping their stone tools, not as weapons to win a battle, but as last hopes to intimidate a predator long enough to retreat with their precious food. They moved quickly toward a cluster of large boulders where they often sheltered, climbing to higher ground to observe the landscape. And from above, they watched a massive striped cat approach the carcass they had just abandoned, and its muscles rippling under the burning sun. Safe for now, they began to divide the meat, sharing it equally between adults and young, because cooperation was the true skill that kept them alive in a world filled with threats far stronger than themselves. As the day faded into a deep red horizon, the group gathered near a fire pit that still smelled of burned wood from previous nights. And although Homo habilis did not yet fully control fire, they understood its presence, warmth, and danger, often waiting for natural flames to appear after lightning storms so they could use smoldering branches for protection. The evening brought a sense of temporary safety, and under the star-filled sky the group huddled close, listening to distant animal cries and the rustling of grass, knowing that tomorrow would demand the same courage, intelligence, and unity that allowed them to survive today. In moments like these, the seeds of humanity were beginning to grow, the understanding that knowledge must be shared, that tools could transform weakness into advantage, and that survival depended not only on instinct, but on the emerging power of thought. And although Homo habilis could not imagine the future that awaited their distant descendants, every stone they shaped and every danger they escaped pushed the human story one step forward, carving the path that would eventually lead from primitive plains to the civilizations of the modern world.